this is fucking crazy. Like this is an actual studio right now. Like it's fucking dope. Um, but on another note, I wanted to make this fucking video so we can talk about a couple things. First and foremost, if you're watching right now on YouTube, appreciate you. If you found this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of the podcast platforms, I appreciate you so much, so much, so much. But I wanted to go ahead and make this video because we hit for me, it's a huge milestone in like the social media world. To some people, it might not be that big of a deal, but to me, it is because this journey, this podcast journey has been fucking incredible. And we recently just hit 500 followers on Instagram. So we going to clap it up to that because that's a fucking huge milestone again for me. But also, I wanted to make this video because there's a couple questions that a ton of people, I get a ton of DMs just asking me, just asking me these questions I'm about to go over. But like I said, first and foremost, we fucking did it. We hit 500 followers on Instagram. So shout out to y'all, man. Y'all are fucking incredible. Again, this is a journey I didn't think I would ever be in. If you asked me 5 years ago if I would ever be in a position to help people, to motivate people, to give advice to people, I would have said you're fucking crazy. Never in a million years would I do that, especially telling my problems to people, especially to a camera on the fucking internet. People can see this all across the world. Fucking insane. I don't think I would ever do it. But well, let's jump into these fucking questions. So the first one I got. Biggest thing I learned throughout my first year doing this podcast. Um, yeah, that one's gonna have to be. Oh, I got some new mics. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I got new mics. Hopefully it sounds better. Anyways, treat people the way you want to be treated. That's probably the first and foremost, the biggest thing I've learned because I've had people DM me and message me and just say, "Hey, your podcast did this, your podcast did that," and I walk around with a smile on my face. I take pictures with a smile on my face, and on the flip side, this is the way I feel: depression, anxiety, my marriage, the like, just everything is going wrong. When in reality, I mean, they're putting on a smile, but in reality, shit is hitting the fan right now. So, um, yeah, I say that because you never know what someone is going through. So just treat people the way you want to be treated because karma's real. I say this all the time. Karma's fucking real. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I've learned. That people are going through things, even though they put on a smile, even though they shoot that Instagram post or that send that tweet that everything's Gucci. But I mean, shit is hitting the fan sometimes. And um, so you never know if a simple comment, if a tip on when you're at the restaurant, if anything in general can help out somebody because they're having that shitty day or they're having that shitty week, shitty month, shitty year, whatever, just be nice to people and that shit will come back 10 times more than what you put out. So, um, let's see. Next one. I actually got this question yesterday and I'm like, bro, you've been following the podcast for a while now. Like, what are you doing? You should, I'm pretty sure this guy, uh, I mean, he might not have, but he was around when I first started making the podcast. So I'm like, bro, you're really gonna ask me this question? But basically, just why did I start? Why did I start this podcast? And it was pre-pandemic, not pre-pandemic. Well, yeah, I guess so. But right before the pandemic hit, I got into a breakup, and it was probably the most lowest I've ever been in my life, rock bottom for sure. Um, but of course, when that pandemic hit, everything shut down. So it gave me two options. I was fucking bored and I couldn't do anything. So this was pretty much my therapy to that breakup. And also, too, it was just something to like, just to keep me going, I guess, just to look forward to something every single day. And yeah, that's basically it. I've always knew I wanted to motivate people. I've always knew I wanted to help people because where I've come from and the money I didn't have, the credit score I didn't have, the car, like this, everything that I wasn't supposed to have, I have. So I'm just in my head. I've always been like, man, I need to help people. I need to get information out because there's a message that I'm trying to display, and it's far beyond me. It's far beyond y'all. And that's just what I don't know. I haven't figured out why I'm actually kind of why I think like that, but I guess that's the easiest way. If that made any sense, I don't know. I'm thinking about what I just said and it didn't make any fucking sense. But um, yeah, I just need to get this message out. I need to be the person to motivate you to set goals to do a fucking podcast yourself. But like I said before, this journey has been fucking amazing. Um, and the last one, the grand slam of all this actual fucking podcast, of the question I get DM the most, of the question I get fucking Facebook the most. Like everybody wants to know, what does GINN mean? What does GINN mean? How'd you come up with the name? Does it have any significance? Yes, it does. It has significance. And I'm about to tell you how I fucking came up with the name, what it means. And all right. So, like I said, pre pandemic or right when the pandemic hit, I started the podcast. So I'm like, I remember vividly, that I was selling vehicles. I was at my computer. I was jotting down in my journal like different names, what the podcast was going to be about, and I couldn't fucking find anything. And I was having a conversation with Caesar. Shout out to my boy C, and he was just like, we were just, either I was telling him the actual like what I wanted to be, or we were just having a conversation and it came up to something. But he was basically saying like, you should like, how do I say this? He just said this word in this phrase called next to kin. He's like, I've heard like people use it, or my dad uses it whenever people ask him about his business or their business. He just says, yeah, that's my next to kin. And I'm like, I've never heard of that. Like I've never heard of that term. So I was like, okay, let me Google this shit. And it just basically means someone that's next in line, or family, friends. Don't quote me on that. I don't think it has to do with friends, but that's what the podcast is about. That's why I kind of chose that word, because my friends are my family. And of course, my immediate family is my fucking family. So I'm like, all right, let me use that word, kin. So I took that word, and I knew I always wanted to put emphasis on my name or have something attached to the podcast with my name. So of course, I just took the letter G out of my name and I just replaced the K with the G, and that's Gin. So I'm like, okay, got Gin. I fuck with Bombay, but I don't want it to be any type of resemblance towards like alcohol or liquor or anything like that. It's bigger than alcohol, or I just didn't want to get people the wrong intention. So I'm like, okay, let me just put another N at the end of the word. So gin, so GIN. Let me just put another N, add an N, gin. Boom. We fucking got I was like, you know what? Let's roll with it. Let's fucking call it the Gin Podcast. It has some significance. It's everything I wanted and more. It means something to me. And it's a lot bigger than hopefully it gets bigger. Not hopefully, it will get bigger than what we're anticipating right now. But yeah, that's basically where I fucking came up with the name and the actual podcast and the scenario, the story, to just to give you some context. By the way, this is on the first episode, or like the first podcast that I ever released, which is terrible audio. So I don't suggest you. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's terrible audio, so you probably won't hear me. But we all start somewhere. But yeah, man. One more time, shout out to y'all. Y'all the fucking GOAT. This is a fucking milestone. And just to cap it off, I want to read some statistics for y'all just to show you how big this platform is, because it's bigger than the followers. It's yeah, it's hold on. Let me go to my podcast platform right now on my hosting website, just so I can be, because I was actually having this conversation with my mom the other day, and she was just like, no fucking way. Like, there's no way. Like, and I was just like, there's a fucking way. But all right, so and I just, yeah, we're gonna give shout outs, but hold on, let me see, all episodes. La, da, da. All right, so since I started the podcast, this fucking blew my mind. This is bigger than me. This is reaching people that, yeah, 25 countries. People have listened to this shit in 25 countries. Obviously, US, Mexico, Guam, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Ireland, India, Germany, Czech Republic. Um, I mean, yeah, this is fucking wild. You got 232 cities. Obviously, San Antonio, Texas, Houston, Round Rock, Austin, Colorado, Columbus, Ohio. Man, this is crazy. Columbus, Ohio. I have no idea who's in Columbus, Ohio, but shout out to you. My bad. Like Dallas, Texas. I mean, Chicago, fucking Cali, Arlington, Lubbock, Corpus Christi. Shout out to my hometown, 361 forever, JK. 210 raised me. But I mean San Jose, San Diego, Pearsall, Midland, like LAX in the fucking building. That is wild. This is the first time I'm actually reading the cities, but this is fucking crazy. I never thought this actual platform would be in cities that I don't even freaking that I don't even fucking live in, and reaching people that I have never even met. But just to say that these people are actually fucking listening or actually clicking on it and finding something and rolling with it means the fucking world to me, man. Um, but also too, we recently just hit 5,000 downloads, which is, like I said, it's a huge milestone for me, because you're telling me that I'm putting out these episodes and people are fucking listening and downloading them on fucking podcast platforms. You're fucking crazy. This is fucking wild. But yeah, those are the stats. Those are the fucking stats right there. So again, one more time, YouTube, if you're watching right now, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment what you, I don't know, comment what you like, what's the best thing you like about this podcast. If you're listening right now, again, like this video, helps to circulate on YouTube at a better rate, and podcast platforms. Again, I just said to statistics, you are fucking amazing. You are fucking amazing, man. But yeah, shout out to y'all one more time. I'm gonna keep saying that forever. I need to use the restroom, so I'm about to get out of here. Peace.